Looksmaxxing will not save you. I know there's a ton of content, ton of other creators going viral talking about Looksmaxxing, and for whatever reason, Looksmaxxing remains the topic of discussion. Look, I get it. I get it. You go out into the world, you see the guys who are getting results. You see the guys in school, you see the guys at work, you see the guys that you just live your life, you go to the gym. The guys who seem to be getting all of the women are guys who look good. And then you hear guys come online and they talk about game and they try to diminish looks. They try to make it seem like looks don't play an important part of the process. Some would even strongly suggest or strongly imply that looks don't matter, right? And when you hear that, you feel gaslit. So what the fuck are you talking about? Looks don't matter. I've been seeing this my entire life since I was a kid. The guys who were handsome, the Chads, the Tyrones, they are the ones getting the women. I'm here to tell you, you're not crazy. That is a gaslighting statement to say that looks don't matter. Of course looks matter. Of course they do. But they aren't everything. And that's what's missing in this conversation. That's what's missing in this big debate when it comes to Looksmaxxing. You have Camp A who say that looks are everything, and that if you don't have looks on your side, you're cooked. And you have Camp B who says that looks don't matter at all. You have thesis and antithesis. What has been missing from the conversation is a synthesis. It is the middle path between those extreme viewpoints. And you're going to find the middle path in this video. So, how important is looks when it comes to your romantic life, when it comes to dealing with women? The answer is it depends. A lot of guys don't even know how to orient themselves around this conversation. Because what we tend to do as men, right? The reason why we overvalue looks is because that's what we are primarily fixated on. We're fixated on looks, right? If a woman comes to us and she doesn't hit like a minimum threshold when it comes to looks, we don't measure any other variable. We're not focusing on her personality. We're not focusing on how funny she is. We're not focusing on her career, her earning ability. None of that shit matters if my little man don't get hard, right? So, of course, us being humans, we naturally have this inclination that everyone thinks like we do. So when we look at women, we're like, okay, I value looks like this, so you must do it as well, right? It's the same thing women do. It's the reason why women get all tatted up because they like tattoos. So they get all tatted up, even though men don't really care for that shit. It's the reason why women lead with their accomplishments because they are attracted to a man who's accomplished. So they assume that you are as well. Everybody is projecting their desires onto the other person, thinking that the object of their affection is like them, thinks like them, respond to the same stimuli as they do in the same way. But this is not true. The reason why there's such a big debate on this topic is because both sides have a very strong argument. Women do respond to looks. Women do like men who look well. And at the same time, they measure other variables. They respond to behavior more than anything, right? They have a more complex attraction system. When it comes to us men, our attraction system is very simplistic. It doesn't mean looks are the only thing that matters, no. But it matters to a greater degree with us than it does to women. This is why you can see a guy who has really good game and go out there and get a woman, right? He can do that. You've seen it. You've also seen that if you're honest with yourself. You've seen guys who maybe aren't chopped. I'm not talking about you're out here looking at Quasimodo, right? Quasimodo probably ain't getting no ass. You feel me? I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you Quasimodo, you might be a little cooked, okay? There's things you can do. You might be a little cooked if that's how you holding it, all right? But a guy who doesn't have looks on his side, a guy who you would not look at as being like a very handsome dude, he can still get women, especially if he has the qualities and the behaviors that women find attractive. If he has vibe, if he has aura, if he has charisma, if he has a sense of humor, which is a big one, by the way, if he has a really good sense of humor, these guys still have a fighting chance. They still may be rejected because they don't look a way that a woman wants them to look, but they still have a fighting chance. Because this is how you gotta look at it, guys. When it comes to dating, you either have a marketing problem, a sales problem, or a product problem. It's much like business. You either have a marketing problem, a sales problem, or a product problem, okay? when we talk about Looksmaxxing, I want to ask you, which one of those categories do you think Looksmaxxing falls into? I'm gonna treat this shit like Dora the Explorer. I'm gonna give you a second. Right, it's a marketing problem, right? It's a marketing problem. So looks and Looksmaxxing is solving a marketing problem. But if you solve that marketing problem, if a company has a shitty product and a shitty sales system, and they solve the marketing problem, they'll get customers, but guess what? They're gonna get a lot of negative reviews. They're gonna get a lot of returns. A lot of people are saying, don't buy this shit. This is a shitty product, right? That's what happens when a company puts all of their emphasis on just marketing. You can't just focus on marketing if you want to be a thriving business. You have to also have the sales component, AKA social skills, AKA game. You have to also have a good product at the end of the day, someone who is psychologically healthy, someone who has a positive orientation to life, someone who's abundant, someone who is grounded, someone who is secure in themselves, right? You have to have those qualities too if you want to have success in this area. Guys, I have clients who are literally male models. Literally, not like, oh, they look like a male. No. Literally male models. Sure, they get women. You're not going to have a guy who's a male model. He's like, I get no women, right? But they find when they try to get higher quality women, when they try to get very beautiful women, right? Like women who are used to good looking men, they fumble those opportunities. Why? Because they put all of their emphasis on the marketing. So the woman is having this fantasy about who this man may be because he looks away, right? Because for women, the way that you look is signaling to them what qualities you may have because they're mostly attracted to behavior. So when you look like you're a strong, grounded man, and then she engages you and you're a weak, needy, insecure man, all attraction is lost. The fantasy bubble has been popped. She now sees you sold her a bill of goods. You look like you're this archetype of guy, but the experience of you suggests that you're not that. Now I'm upset because I feel like I was lied to, even though she wasn't lied to, right? So I have guys like that and have to work on them as to getting better at the product side and maybe a little bit on the sales side. Because let's be honest, if your marketing is real good, sales doesn't have to be that great. The marketing and sales component are definitely inversely correlated. Like you either have to be really good at sales or really good at marketing, right? So if a guy really looks good, if his marketing is on point, he doesn't have to focus that much on game. He'll be given grace. But if his product sucks, she's going to feel like she was sold a bill of goods. I've seen this happen time and time again. Now, this is a blind spot for a lot of guys, especially guys who aren't attractive, because all they do is they see the guy get the woman. They see the guy getting women staring at him, right? Maybe you've seen King 6'8's videos where he's walking around and women are like breaking their necks to look at him, right? They're going up and talking to him. You don't see what happens after that, though. You don't see when a guy like that actually tries to enter a relationship, how there's a challenge that has to be overcome. Because the woman she loses attraction for him the more she engages with him. Because every time she engages with him, he's showing his neediness. He's showing how insecure he is. And she loses more and more and more of that fantasy. It's much like when women watch romantic comedies, right? And they see like this funny story of how this couple met. And they're like, I want my life to be like that. But they don't see what happens after that. They don't see what happens after the wedding. They don't see the fights. They don't see the betrayal. They don't see the cheating, right? They don't see any of those kind of things. So it creates this fantasy of what relationships are probably like, but it's a bill of goods. It's not real. It's not grounded. It's not reality. That's the same thing you're doing when you're looking at these guys who look good, thinking that they just have a better experience. They do have a better experience to a certain degree, right? They have a lot of opportunities. They have a lot of women coming up to them, but they can't keep them. A lot of these guys can't keep them. A lot of these red pill guys can't keep them. A lot of these Looksmaxxers can't keep them. That's the problem. So ultimately what I'm saying is, yes, your looks are important. If you feel called to Looksmaxx, you should Looksmaxx. You should put some energy in looking good. I've certainly done it. This beard wasn't an accident. This beard was very intentional, okay? This chain was very intentional. When I go in the gym and I work on these shoulders, that's very intentional. Yes, look better, look good, But you will be disappointed if you assume that looking better is going to solve your women problems, because they will not. They will solve your marketing problems. They will give you more opportunities. But if you do not have the interior character and behavioral traits that can hold that attention, you will repel it. So ultimately, this is a very diverse game. There's multiple areas that you want to improve. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to improve, okay? And if you improve, you'll be able to outpace the Chad who only focused on marketing. And if you have a little bit of looks on your side, if you do looks match, you'll be able to outpace the Chad and the guy who knows a lot of game, because you're more diverse, right? You're more balanced in your development. And to help you reach that state, to help you reach the optimized state, I created a course called the Retainment Blueprint. Now, in this course, it doesn't matter what your problem is, whether it's meeting women, talking to women, attracting women, getting a date, getting past the first date and having the second and third date, being exclusive, getting into a relationship, maintaining that relationship. No matter where your sticking point is, this course is going to solve your problem. Because when it comes dealing with women, you'll find for every problem you solve, another problem takes its place. At first, you don't know how to meet women. Then you learn how to meet women. Now you have to learn how to attract women. Then you learn how to attract women. But now it's like, now I have to take you on dates and get past the first date, get past the second date, right? Lead you to the bedroom, get into a relationship, maintain the relationship. Every problem is replaced by another problem. And most of the guys who talk about these topics, they're focusing on one thing. You have guys who teach game who are just focused on solving marketing problems. You have guys who teach game who only focus on fixing sales problems. You have guys who focus on teaching game and they only focus on product problems. There aren't many guys focusing on the entire system, the entire life cycle. Whether you want to be a hedonistic guy who has a roster or whether you want to have a relationship with a devoted woman, this course is going to help you do this. It's going to be a resource that you can return to time and time again, that you can refer back to whenever you unlock that next problem, because the answer and the solution will be in it. For a limited amount of time, I'm offering all customers a free 30-minute coaching call with me so we can actually make sure you have a solid foundation. So if you want that, I'm going to leave the link in the description. I'll see y'all next time.